You stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
Welcome in, everybody, to Championship Night here in the Western States Racing League, live from Phoenix. Mike Damoni and Liam Irving back up in the booth to close out season number 51, and we are excited here tonight. We've got a championship contender that pretty much almost has it locked up completely, but not quite. Liam, how are you feeling tonight, man?
And I am excited. All season is going to come down to this, to 125 more laps here at the Phoenix Raceway. Justin Michael, he's put together a phenomenal season. I think a 6-pack of wins so far. He's looking to take this home, but he's going to have a decent day to be able to get that done. That doesn't mean that everybody else out on this racetrack, though, isn't going to be trying to get one final checkered flag this season. Tell you what, man, 51 seasons of the Western States Racing League, and this stuff never gets old.
No, it never does. Point standings are up on the board, as you can see here. Justin Michael, 649 to Chad Simpson, 643. Drop weeks will come into effect. Justin Michael can drop a 21-point race week, whereas Chad Simpson's lowest is 31 points. So Justin Michael's going to take advantage of all those wins he has, and he only has to finish about 14th or 15th here, and he will completely lock up the standings, even if Chad Simpson were to go off and get the max points tonight.
Yeah, Chad Simpson's his future is definitely not in his own hands here tonight. So take a look at him running through turns 1 and 2 there. Phoenix still has me a little bit backwards since the reconfiguration. Let's see what kind of lap Chad can put down here. First time around, he's going to jump up to third. Second time around, he's going to be a little bit quicker than Justin Michael.
Yeah, heck of a run there. 26.93, 26.92 for Lyle Swearingen, and James Lehman up there with a 26.87. There's only one other driver out on track at the moment. He's got about 30 seconds to get back to that start-finish line as he's starting his second lap. So we'll see what... Oh, not going to be able to count it there. And that will do it here as they get ready to grid. We'll, jump down to the track here momentarily once they get in their rides here. We'll go through the starting grid. So starting on the pole is going to be James Lehman with Lyle Swearingen just to his outside. Chad Simpson, Bentley Glazer up there in row number 2. Row 3, Justin Michael and Scott Patton. Butch Davis and Rob Haynes make up row number 4. Row 5, Ryan Steele and Chris Sumard, followed by Dennis Fuson and Bob Beltrami.
After that, we've got Earl Weaver with Cody Matthews to his outside, Wayne Hutchison and Chad Stearns in a pair of Toyotas, David Weaver and Todd Miles, and then Julian Ritchie and Heath Smith make up our top 20. Justin T. Wilkinson and Brian Barnes. Then we've got Keith Hovda and Kieran Bragelli. Barry Phil and Keith Kelman round out the top 13 rows, and then William Fletcher and Kerry Cleaver will see if they get out onto the track to make the start here. So far, 26 drivers ready to rock and rumble here in the championship race at Phoenix.
Yeah, they're trying to bring home the championship. Everybody wants to go out on the season on a high note here, especially if you don't have a chance for the win. Chad Simpson has to do everything in his power to bring home the max points and hope that Justin Michael has a bad day. Not sure if that's going to be possible, but we've seen Justin have a couple bad days, hence the drop weeks. But see where this ends up. We have 125 laps. They are running 80% fuel. They have 3 sets of tires in the pits. Track temperature, but a little bit above 80 degrees there as they get ready to roll off here.
Pace truck ready, rolling here. These guys are going to be doubled up, ready to get it going. 125 laps, 125 miles. In a venue that really blows a lot of other venues out of the water. I mean, the things that this place has put together for fan experience is truly incredible. That's why it's continued to hold the championship race for all 3 of the top divisions of NASCAR, because this is such a fan-friendly racetrack. Well, the fans in the stands don't really matter right now because this is iRacing. James Lehman, he knows what matters. That's a checkered flag coming up in 125 laps. Justin Michael, 125 laps away from a potential championship. Chad Simpson, that far away from playing spoiler. Green flag is out and we are underway for the final time this season. Look at Justin Michael already to the inside of his championship rival.
I drove down deep. You saw him cut the dog leg. That's not necessarily the fastest way around the track, but on the initial restart, that is where you want to be. As James Lehman got a jump, and now he has a rear view mirror full of Chad Simpson. Justin, Michael, and Lyle Swearingen were side by side. Butch Davis back there as well, and we are under caution.
JTW's got around to bring out the caution for the first time here today on the first lap in the first set of corners. An unfortunate start here for the 19 machine, but he's able to keep rolling on. See if we can get a look to figure out what happened to him, figure out if he's got much damage. Very quick caution here to start off. And Justin just gets loose coming up off of turn number 2. Overcorrects and gets into the 4 of Kieran Brigelli.
It looked like that was going to be a heck of a save there, as everybody was almost able to make it around, and then just not quite enough room there to get by.
Well, a quick caution here in the first lap of the championship finale here in the Western States Racing League. James Lehman puts down the fastest lap at a 55.99. Not at all indicative of the speeds that these guys are capable of doing here, but that's where we're at right now. 2.5 miles complete. Lyle Swearingen, Chad Simpson traded positions.
It looks like Barry Phil, Keith Kelman moved up a few spots there after going around the accident.
I think Brian Barnes got a piece of that as well. The 25 truck towards the back. He's come into the pit lane, get something looked at. Truck doesn't look too bad. JTW comes out of the pits. He's going to catch up to the tail end of this field, but it looks like we should be doubling up. Getting ready to rock and roll here once again at Phoenix. Since it was the first lap, we're going to stay single file for this restart. Of course, the rule, single file if there's not a full lap of green after the initial green flag or after a restart.
And that's that long, pace or leader controlled run here as they get ready to hit that Geico restart zone. Down and away James Lehman goes. If he's going to cut that dogleg, and he'll do just that right after that start-finish line.
Here comes Justin Michael looking to the outside of Swearingen now, trying to take away that third place. He knows that he's got the championship advantage right now. As long as he can see that 42, he's basically got the championship on lock. However, caution's going to come out once again. However, you definitely want to go out there and beat your closest rivals. It's like Julian Ritchie and Todd Miles have had themselves a bit of an incident.
Well, you saw Todd Miles on that first caution catch that outside wall and kind of bounce back towards the inside. We'll see what happens here. Gets the apron, gets loose. Sideways. Barry Phil tags him a little bit. A little tap there from Barry Phil.
Yeah, some front end damage on that 62, but not a whole heck of a lot. You just see him going around right there. And let me jump back up to your race leader, James Lehman. I believe, Mike, has he got 4 wins on the season? Or did he get up to 5?
I will check that real quick.
Forcing Mike to be our official stats guy, and
4. He has 4 wins on the season.
it's So looking to get his 5th. Justin Michael has solidified with his win last week at Daytona, solidified a solo spot on top of the leaderboard for most races won this year.
Yeah,
And,
Justin Michael has 6, James Lehman 4, Bentley Glazer 2.
I tell you what, man, those are some of the best names in the Western States Racing League, year in, year out, week in, week out. It's something special to be able to watch those guys race against each other and to be able to have all 3 of them in the same season. Well, I mean, it's great for us, but, you know, when you get to a guy like maybe Chad Stearns, Dennis Fuson, Chris Samard, guys that we know are fast, but they're just getting beat by these 3 every single week. I don't know, Mike, when you got a 20-race season and 3 drivers combined for 12 wins, that doesn't leave you a lot of opportunity to go and fight for other wins. So, you know, that's just going to make these guys hungrier as they move into the next season.
Yeah, they have what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 drivers here with 1 win. But I mean, of that, I mean, Justin Michael's in the top 5 61% of the time. Matthew Oppinger's 58% of the time. So I mean, out of 18 starts for Justin Michael, 12 for Opplinger, that's just kind of where they go, as we are under James Lehman's control once again.
Now, Mike, I noticed this last time, but it looked like the 42 moved up to the outside. That's traditionally, you know, guys would defend the wall because you're allowed to pass on the outside before the start-finish line. But with where this restart box is, I don't see any benefit to going up to the top like that. Lehman's going to be able to put the hammer down, run the shorter drive, and now that top side, I mean, unless he's worried about the 68 on you know, try to defend that. As speaking of defending, Lyle Swearingen trying to defend from Justin Michael now. Bentley Glazer just behind these 2, running 5th.
Single filed out now. Look back towards the back. Bob Beltrami's down to the inside of Dennis Fuson. And it looks like Ryan Steele's running up about a path up, has Rob Haynes down to his inside. Steele's staying up on the track, though.
Yeah, I mean, he's somebody that we saw put down a lot of laps in practice. Be interesting to see what he learned about what his tires will do late in the run when you use that dog leg versus when you don't. I tell you what, that 12 machine looking a little squirrely in front of the 33 of Rob Haynes. Here comes Haynes down to the bottom. Julian Ritchie has gone around.
Got going the right direction, so everything's good there. Ryan Steele still battling with Haynes side by side as they come down the backstretch.
And that 12 just looks to be dancing a little bit in the rear end. He moves up half a lane here, or a full lane, while he's defending from the 33. But look at how low that 33 of Haynes is able to get down. He's tried everything he can with that shorter run, but tell you what, man, Steele's speed is just a little too strong.
Yeah, he's hanging on really tough there, especially since he's not cutting that dogleg. He's able to maintain that momentum. Usually you'd see the guys who cut that dogleg, especially from clear up top where Haynes is cutting it, but he is bouncing too much and losing a lot of that momentum that he would have had.
And that could be allowing Ryan to close in on the back bumper of Scott Patton in the 46 that you see just in front there. Had himself a strong run last time out at Daytona. Couldn't quite get the job done, but Scott back out here, performing strong in the top 10, running 7th place right now. All the way to the bottom. Haynes tries once again to get to the inside of Steele, but nothing doing. Steele stays about half a lane up, trying to get a little bit of clean air to the front bumper of that number 12.
He's getting there slowly but surely as Haynes. Looks like he's
that was
gonna be
power
close.
move down to the bottom.
I think if he doesn't bounce, let's see if maybe we can get a look here on board. We'll see how he comes through here as he's got the 46 in front of him, Scott Patton there. And not as bad as it was before, but a couple of times he was bouncing pretty hard there.
Yeah, finally able to make that inside work. Here comes Steele looking to the middle, trying to make something happen. Haynes gets loose coming up off of turn number 2. He's going to have to lose a little bit of momentum. Slot back in behind Steele. The power move for Haynes. Put a little bit too much power down and heated up that right rear tire. Now he's going to have to fall back in line and potentially defend from Chris Simard.
Yeah, it's amazing how these guys can just come and go like they are. Bob Beltrami trying to go to the inside of Simard, trying to get up here inside that top 10, sitting just outside right now. Looks like Rob Haynes might have clipped the wall a little bit there coming out of turn number 3.
Yeah, I think he's got a little bit of heat in that right rear. He's starting to slide around a little bit more, and I tell you what, Ryan Steele has got to be thinking, thank goodness for that mistake, because I don't think I could have held on to that position much longer. Haynes is going to try to get him back now, but he's got a couple of car lengths to overcome, and now he's got Simard and Bob Beltrami, who are both incredibly fast to start this race. Bob Beltrami, he's up 1 spot from where he started. Chris Simard lost a few, gained a few back to get back into the top 10. And then Chad Stearns running in 12th just behind these two. He's up 4 spots from where he started. He's going to be trying to keep that momentum going. Maybe get around all 3 of these guys just in front of him.
Looks like Brian Barnes is hanging out at the back, trying to make his way around like Earl Weaver right now. JTW just in front of them. Barnes to the inside, going to try and make a pass.
And good recovery there for Barnes. We saw him come into the pits after that first caution. He maybe made a little bit of contact with the wall when the 19 was coming back up the racetrack. Got that looked at, got the fenders pulled out, made sure it wasn't going to cause him any harm later on in the race, and now he's just slowly trucking on through. He's all the way up into the 17th position after restarting in 26th. Oh, Scott Patton up the racetrack. Rob Haynes gets down to his inside. Here comes Simard to the inside of Steele.
Yeah.
Not entirely sure what happened there, but it shakes up the inside of the top 10. Here comes Bob Beltrami down on the inside. Looks like he was trying to get a run on Steele, but now here comes Chad Stearns up to his outside.
Trying to battle back. Looks like something happened earlier in that run. Let's see if we can take a look, see kind of what happened here. Go back and see what happened with like Rob Haynes and Scott Patton here.
Steele's going to get to the back bumper of Patton.
Oh, yep.
Oh!
That's what happened. Steele got right in his rear bumper.
What a save there by the 46. I mean, that thing was pretty near wrecked. Incredible action here going on. It was a slow start with a couple of quick cautions. But we've got some incredible racing going on here at Phoenix. Rob Haynes has worked his way up into 7th place once again. It's in front of Ryan Steele, got past Scott Patton. Trying to figure out a way to chase down Butch Davis. Meanwhile, up in the top 5, Bentley Glazer was able to get around Justin Michael. Chad Simpson continues to chase down, or continues to sit in 2nd, but he's being chased down by Lyle Swearingen, who's closed in just a couple of hundredths each lap. That last time around went in the favor of Chad Simpson, but it's less than half a second between 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah, trying to stay up there. But right now, James Lehman's not I mean, he's cutting the dog leg, but not terribly cutting the dog leg. Keeping some momentum going. It looks like right now Chad Stearns is closing in. It looks like Ryan Steele as well. Closest battle on track, I do believe, is between these three trucks right here.
And it's really interesting, this type of racetrack, how close they get together in the middle of the corners and how far they separate on the straightaways. Right now, you got a little bit more separation in the corners. You know, Ryan Steele likes to stay up onto the racetrack that allows Chad Stearns to close in. He's going to take a different line here, runs up the racetrack, tries to cut all the way down to get a nice run coming on exit. Seemed to be about equal to the 12 in front of him. Now this time he's going to run a little bit lower. Slides just a touch. With the 12 staying on the racetrack, could this allow the 5 to get up next to him? No, he doesn't cut down that low. Now he's going to cut down low, getting into turns 1 and 2. Mike, I am just as confused as you are when it comes to which corner to call it.
Yeah, exactly. I called a race here, I don't know, a couple weeks ago at Legacy Phoenix, where, you know, the start-finish line is normal.
I'm pretty sure I was with you for that.
Yeah, like, that's just...
And we were doing the same thing, you know, they'd get into what is now turns 3 and 4. And we'd be like, oh, trouble, you know, 3 and 4. And that's 1 and 2.
Yep.
Just to say, like, we almost know exactly what we're doing. We're just doing it wrong.
Yeah, just mixing up numbers. It's all right. Let's see. Looks like JTW is trying to get another position back, as is Brian Barnes. Trying to do a couple recovery drives here. Almost clear down through pit road goes JTW, and he's going to get by the 17. Not quite. So it looked like he was going to get by.
He's staying in it up top. He doesn't want to give this spot up. Big slide there for the 19. Keeps it straight this time around. He's going to lose that spot to Brian Barnes.
Now, you were talking about the 17 keeping his foot in it. The 19 did as well and almost went inside and outside wall searching there.
Yeah, definitely not what you're looking for here at Phoenix. Looking for clear track in front of you. And well, Brian Barnes tried to make that happen. A little bit of a slide there out of Wayne Hutchison. Allows Barnes to get to the inside, getting into 3 and 4. How hard does that 17 fight? 45 staying right next to that yellow line, coming up just a little bit, but not pushing super hard. Goes all the way down to the bottom.
Trying to get that momentum to get by the 17. The 17's hanging tough, running that high line. And JTW has got that 19 truck settled back down, and not anymore.
And Brian's doing this, I'm not going to say right, but he's doing it respectfully for sure. He knows he's got a quicker truck. He's just working the inside lane, the lane that this driver is not running, talking about Wayne Hutchison, and he's taking his time. Wayne drives it in a little bit deep there, and he's going to try to stay. Ooh, no, here comes Barnes getting a little bit wide. Just as I was saying, he was doing it respectfully. He starts to, I wouldn't say encroach, but use a little bit more space. But he's staying to the bottom of the racetrack. He's racing side by side. He's not really, you know, putting a lot of pressure on the door of the 17. He's just trying to utilize the faster truck. Slowly but surely, methodically, make his way around.
Yeah, it looks like that time he's right down, has the two left side tires down on that apron. A little bit closer probably than he wants to be. He wants to try and stay up on that racing surface. And you never know, especially since they released that new damage model today and tire model type stuff, what it will actually do to the tires.
Yeah, that is a really good point, Mike. How many unknowns have been thrown at us today with this new tire model coming out with the Week 14 model, or, you know, Week 13? But as we get ready for 2025 Season 1, here comes Brian Barnes back down to the inside. He's got momentum. He's going to dive it in deep, slide up the racetrack. Not the line we're used to seeing him run, but I tell you what, man, it's going to be an effective one. He goes all the way down to the bottom, getting through the dog leg. Is he going to have enough to clear the 17? Just about. Wayne drives it in deep up on the top side, but he's going to have to back off just a little bit. Brian Barnes makes the pass.
Brian Barnes up to 15th there. Wayne Hutchinson now has to deal with JTW as he pulls down, goes to the inside. Just when he thought he was done with side-by-side racing, here is another driver.
Yeah, JTW is going to take advantage of the fact that Wayne Hutchison just got worked completely over. Now Hutchison tries to drive it in on the top side to stay with him, but he just slides up a little bit too much there. That's going to allow this 19 to get clear. And I tell you what, that was made easy courtesy of Brian Barnes in that 25, who I know we've obviously talked about for the last 5 or so laps while he completed that pass. But just got to give him an extra shout out for doing that so clean, getting it done so, it was a chess match there. Brian Barnes, really good driver, and it's always nice to see him perform.
Yeah, I mean, both those drivers side by side for multiple laps, not touching each other, just racing really respectfully, trying to make it up on the track, choosing a little bit different line to run. And you saw that there as Rob Haynes gets by Chris Sumard.
I think Samard might be a little bit faster right now. He's trying to chase that 33 back down and get the run on him. But Rob Haynes in that The Beer Store Toyota Tundra, he's been doing phenomenal. Working his way up into the top 10, or back into the top 10, and holding on to his position. He's got Butch Davis not too far in front of him. Chris Samard, hell of a lot closer behind.
Yeah, and then you have Justin Michael trying to close in on Bentley Glazer. The top 4 really haven't changed too much. The gap between James Lehman and Chad Simpson has grown. It's almost 2 seconds now and consists of 1 lap truck at the moment. Looks like that's probably Todd Miles back there.
Yep. Well, Heath Smith and Kieran Bergelli have come into the pits. Been quite some time since that happened, but both drivers have been on pit lane for over 4 and 8 minutes respectively. Safe to say they are not going to be in contention for anything up front at the end. Ooh, up into the wall goes Todd Miles right in front of Chad Simpson.
Yeah, we saw it earlier. He gets a little loose there, pancakes that outside wall. Luckily, Chad Simpson was able to get by Lyle Swearingen. Going to try and slide down and make this pass as quickly as possible as he is trying to close in on Chad Simpson.
Justin Michael has gotten around Bentley Glazer for the 4th position. Somebody that we've seen, he tends to be a longer run type of guy. We've seen him back off early in the run and show up late. It's a little bit later than we're used to seeing him put the hammer down, but tell you what, 42 laps into this 125 lap race, I would imagine these guys are going to be looking at making a pit stop if it stays green right around halfway, maybe a little bit later hoping for a caution. But I think it's going to be a one-stop type of race.
Yeah, we'll definitely see that it's trending that direction, I do believe, when either Justin Michael decides to come in or if Ryan Steele Ryan Steele decides to stay out a little bit longer than some other drivers. He usually likes to take that gamble. He does fairly well on saving tires and fuel. Seen him win a few fuel mileage races.
I tell you what, Rob Haynes, he was doing a great job of defending. Right now, he's not. Yeah, it looked like Steele was going to be able to clear him coming up off of turn number 2. Haynes stays in it, but he lost that spot to Chris Samard for the 7th spot. Now Ryan Steele looking to try to clear him, and Chad Stearns in the 0-5, not too far behind. He's also looking to try to make this pass. But look at Rob Haynes putting the fight back up on the top side. Really not giving anything up that he doesn't have to. Looks like the 12 is going to get clear this time, but Haynes stays in it. He's going to try the crossover. No, not quite.
Not quite. You saw Ryan Steele slide up, almost touch that outside wall. It looks like they have the 97 they're going to have to deal with here in a moment. Several different lines as they came through that dog leg.
Comes Chad Stearns to the inside. That 97 running up on the top. That is not what the 33 wants to see. He's going to get stuck right behind him. He tries to go 3 wide. He gets turned down the back straightaway. Caution's going to come out. Rob Haynes with a front and rear impact to the wall. Tried to get down to the inside of Keith Hovda, but man, oh man, was that 0.5 just a little bit too far up the side of that 33.
You see the massive run he gets, tries to slide down, and Chad Stearns did not give him any room. He held his line and was basically going to use the 97 there as a pick.
But that was his goal. He wanted to use the 97 as a pick, and that is a totally fair move. That 33, I tell you what, he had about 90% of what he needed to make that work. You watch it in real time, and there's not time to react. He's taking this run down to the bottom, and yeah, I mean, 97 held his line.
Yep,
97 held his line up on the top, and the 0.5 held his line down on the bottom. That created a bad equation there for the 33.
Wholesale pit stops.
Obviously, 2 quick cautions to start this race, and we've had a long green flag run. These guys have 3 sets of tires. So, I mean, I'd anticipate they're going to pit again if we get another yellow, but can they make it from here? I want to say no.
I was going to say, I would lean towards no. 75, maybe. I think they'd be a few laps short, but you get that long green flag run, make a green flag pit stop, you know, with 30 or so to go. Be about perfect timing, I would assume.
Well, yeah, I mean, it can definitely open up the floodgates of strategy. Do you want to come in a little bit early, take tires, have fresh rubber and quicker lap times, or do you want to stay out as long as you can, get a quick splash of fuel, and spend as little time as you can on pit lane? Got a restart coming our way, though, Mike. Pace truck's about ready to make that hard left turn, and now we get ready for one of the longest waits that we have before green.
I mean, you got to sit there and you have to go pace speed for so long. Almost half the track, basically.
Yeah, pretty much half the track. Gives you a lot of time to think about what you're going to do on this restart.
Lehman waited almost to the end before he got going, and he cuts that dogleg, and he is out in front. Chad Simpson makes a move, going to get up into second. 3 wide behind him, Justin Michael, Bentley Glazer, and Lyle Swearingen.
Justin being aggressive here on this restart, moves down to the inside of Swearingen. He got around Bentley Glazer. Now he's going for the inside of Chad Simpson. He's being aggressive here, but he's also got to be wary that if he makes a mistake and gets put towards the back of this field, that could potentially spell disaster. Chad Simpson, on the other hand, he's going to do everything to keep this 87 behind him, because that is the only way that he can guarantee a shot.
Yeah, Justin Michael basically just has to finish this race, and he will be the season 51 champion.
14th or better with Chad Simpson maximizing points here today should solidify Justin Michael as the champion. But I tell you what, he does not want it to be close. He does not want to wait on a decision. He wants to finish podium, and he wants to talk with us as champion right away. A couple of them get up into the wall coming up off of turn number 4. Steele, Davis.
Everybody running a little bit different line there. Brian Barnes up into 13th after restarting towards the back of the pack. Well, as they are getting single filed out and we are getting closer to that halfway mark, we're going to step aside. We'll go side by side. You won't miss anything, and we'll be back after this. All right, welcome back, everybody, to Championship Night here in the Western States Racing League. Currently, James Lehman is leading them, has led from start to finish. So far, anyway. Chad Simpson hanging on for P2. Lyle Swearingen is in third with Justin Michael back in fourth. Butch Davis rounding out that top five.
One of the biggest changes that we've seen at this point in the race. Bentley Glazer back into 7th place. I suppose not a super huge change, but we saw him as high up as 4th for the longest time during that long green flag run we had before the caution flag for Rob Haynes. Bentley Glazer, though, showing a little bit different sort of pace here at the beginning part of this run. Chad Stearns just behind him with Chris Samard closing in on his rear bumper. And then just an update for you Rob Haynes fans out there. He is unfortunately out of the race after that contact with the inside wall. So his season is not going to finish very well. Everybody wants to try to finish on a high note here. Little side-by-side action just behind these guys. Dennis Fuson. He's got Scott Patton to his inside. Patton completes that pass going through 3 and 4. And now Brian Barnes going to try to work his way up through. Slowly but surely throughout the course of this race, just kept on moving forward.
Yeah, Scott Patton trying to battle back after getting almost run over a little bit there by Ryan Steele. Looked like just didn't expect Scott to check up as much as he did as he was coming towards that start-finish line. It looks like he's got that, I guess, 46 ride fixed up. So we'll see if he can make his way back towards the front.
Yeah, currently sitting in the 11th position. Hoping to catch up to Bob Beltrami and work his way back up into the top 10. But Beltrami, he's running pretty strong in terms of lap times. He is, last time around, a 28:24. Tell you what, that was faster than 4 of the top 5. 3 of the top 5, I apologize.
Yeah, Chad Stern's been running pretty quick up here.
Yeah, Chad Stearns just put down a lap equal with your race leader, both of them with a 28:20 last time around. Similar paint schemes, you know, they're teammates.
Bentley Glazer, Chad Stearns, Chris Sumard trying to get by Barry Phil there.
Way up the racetrack there for Bentley Glazer. Interesting to see if that's where the line is starting to move up to. He's got momentum over Chad Stearns, but oh, a little bit of contact there. Samard gets into the inside wall after contact from Barry Phil. He's still out of control, up into the outside wall.
Wow. Keeps going the right direction, but that truck is shot.
Yeah, you can see he's missing a left front fender there. Barry Phil's made some more contact as well.
Looks like he's stopped down there.
Yeah.
Chris Sumard making it back to the pits. Justin Michael, Lyle Swearingen going side by side.
And finally, that truck jumps away to the pit lane. So no caution's going to come out. That was a sketchy spot to be sitting in, especially when these guys get down there and use that dog leg. Justin Michael making the pass, or working on making the pass over Lyle Swearingen. Trying to stay to the bottom of the racetrack, slides up just a little bit. Swearingen gets to take advantage of that. He's got the momentum up on the top side. Michael with the shorter line on the inside, and he's going to dive it in. Not quite enough to slide up yet.
No, it's just like we saw with Brian Barnes. He gets almost there, but not quite enough. Looks like he will probably be able to carry enough momentum maybe this time around, as he has already got about half a truck length on Lyle Swearingen there, but Lyle Swearingen trying to battle back on that high side.
Yeah, Lyle got a little bit loose coming up out of turn number 2. That almost cost him the chance to keep fighting. He stayed up there, and tell you what, man, he is not going to give this up. Just barely still on the bumper of Justin Michael. A little bit cleaner of an exit that time. He's going to have a better drag race. Almost equal getting into the corner, but Justin Michael drives it in deep. He's going to have him cleared going through 3 and 4.
As they come back through the start-finish line, looked like Lyle Swearingen was thinking about crossing him over. Thought better of it at the moment, but now he drives down to the inside. Side by side they go once again.
Swearingen had to try to get back to the inside of that 87, but nothing doing. He's going to have to fall back into the 4th position. Justin Michael has no one between him and his closest championship rival, Chad Simpson.
Well, while they have settled down, let's take a look and... Ooh, that was a little close there with the lap truck. But let's take a look and see what happened with Chris Sumard here. See if we can see... Let's get back to Sumard. Oh, Barry Phil just tags him.
Yeah, I think Phil might have got the wall.
Yeah.
Might have gotten closer than he wanted to it, but he made a correction, came down the racetrack, and clipped that 77, unfortunately. So now here comes Justin Michael to the inside of Chad Simpson, and with these different lines that these guys are running, tell you what, it makes it look like a dive bomb could be all you need.
Yeah, especially when you have guys that stay up on the track versus the guys that just completely cut that dog leg. They are staying pretty even as they're working around. Going back here with Bentley Glazer. As he almost gets to Ryan Steele as he's coming off that dog leg, but Ryan Steele has too much momentum as he carries it down into turn number 2.
Here comes Bentley Glazer looking to the inside of the 12. Nothing quite doing there. He's going to have to try to fall back in line, get a little bit more momentum, and try again.
Yeah, it looks like that's exactly what happened with Justin Michael. He was close there to the rear bumper of Chad Simpson, but now he's kind of fallen back just a little bit. And Ryan Steele is trying to close in on Butch Davis, but he has Bentley Glazer right behind him, and now Chad Stearns is closing in as well.
Things really starting to heat up just here outside of the top 5. 3 trucks under a blanket, and a 4th one really trying to get in there. Glazer right to the back bumper of Ryan Steele. And Mike, I know we say this all the time, and we try not to say it when we're up in the booth, but this track is just so tough to pass at. It's tough to set up a pass. It takes forever to make a pass, and yeah, you can do it clean. You can do it with a faster truck, but it really, really is tough.
Yeah, you have got to set them up before, like almost 2 or 3 laps before you think you're going to be where you can make that pass. Otherwise, you wind up losing momentum, and then you have to basically start all over again.
Yeah, it's tough to make a pass happen here, but the best of the best can definitely get it done. And you see Ryan Steele working the back bumper of Butch Davis here, trying a different line, trying to find a way to get next to him.
As that's going on, looks like Justin Michael has started to close in on Chad Simpson again as well. He gets down to the inside, trying to make that pass. Not quite able to. They single file back out. Butch Davis, heavy pressure from Ryan Steele. Davis down to the inside, Steele on the high side. Steele going to try and make that pass.
Getting it done up on the outside. Bentley Glazer trying to figure out who he can follow through. Looked like for a moment he thought about going all the way down to the inside 3 wide, but thought better of it. Stays behind Steele up on the top side. Side by side for second once again, though. The top side for Chad Simpson has been working, but Justin Michael is staying diligent on the inside. He's not changing up what he's doing to try to mimic anybody else. He just knows that what he's doing has his truck running quickly. And now the 42 is changing his line, trying to defend.
And trying to block every which way he can. But that 87 truck has just been on rails all season. 2 championship contenders know where they are on the track now, and I don't think Chad's going to try and let him pass.
No, he knows that the only thing in this championship that is in his power is keeping the 87 behind him. If the 87's in front of him, the 42 has no shot at winning this championship. If the 87 is behind him, things can happen. Things can happen to take away points from the 87. The 42 cannot. It's not much of a risk protection at this point, but he cannot allow that 87 to get past. That's why you see him fighting so hard here on the outside. Doing a really phenomenal job of defending. This is an incredible battle we're seeing from two insanely talented race car drivers.
Hang on with everything they have, putting on a show that they've put on all season. And what's even more interesting, surprising, whatever you want to say, Chad Simpson has no wins on the season. And he's battling for a championship.
That was a close moment there. Both drivers got loose, and it looked like they were about to have a coming together coming up off of turn number 2. But yeah, Mike, that is an incredible point that you make. Justin Michael is a 6-time winner this season. Chad Simpson has done it all, being Mr. Consistency, running well week in and week out. And as it looks like the 87 is going to get clear this time around, Chad Simpson now dives back to the inside. Can he make that crossover happen? Oh, he might have given him a little shot getting into turns 3 and 4, but not going to be enough to upset the 87. Justin Michael continues on into second place, and he's got 2 seconds between him and race leader James Lehman.
Yeah, James Lehman's, that 50 Chevy's just been on absolute rails, running away from him. Just doesn't seem like he even has any inclination of slowing down right now. And pit stops are going to start happening momentarily. We got Lyle Swearingen, Bentley Glazer, Chad Stearns, Bob Beltrami, all coming in.
One final curveball to be thrown at us for this season. Of course, we're going to talk about strategy. These drivers know that they can't make it to the end. However, you're going to see some guys come in early, try to take those 4 tires and utilize the fresh rubber here at the end. You might see a couple, maybe Ryan Steele, try to stay out as long as they possibly can, hoping for either a caution or the opportunity to come in, take a splash and go, and spend about 3 seconds on pit lane, getting an 11-second advantage against the guys who took a 4-tire pit stop.
Yeah, I mean, it's always one of those things. You know, what do you do? Lyle Swearingen back out in front of this group here. James Lehman, Justin Michael, Chad Simpson, Ryan Steele, all of those drivers last pitted on lap 48.
And I mean, Lehman, he had himself enough of a gap over some of these guys who've already come into the pits. He can afford to stay out this long and still probably get out of the pits in front of him. He's going to come in this time around. That is a very quick entry, but he got to the cone at plenty good pace. Justin Michael's going to take over the race lead. Chad Simpson behind him, Ryan Steele, Butch Davis, James Lehman, and Dennis Fuson, the only ones to come into pit that time around.
Well, it's got to make you wonder how much time they're going to lose. Because right now, the gap between Justin Michael and Lyle Swearingen is 35 and a half seconds as it's going down with every lap. The amount of time they spent on pit lane when they were last down was 56 seconds for Justin Michael. So it's going to be close.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it plays out here. Justin Michael stays out once again. And of course, he's not really racing for the win here. He sees Chad Simpson behind him and knows that that is the truck that he is fighting. Doesn't really matter what a guy like Chad Stearns wants to do, James Lehman, Bob Beltrami. Obviously, Lehman's led the most laps, but he's not really worried about anybody that's not within points range.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan Steele's kind of within points range, but it's basically Chad Simpson and Justin Michael would have to DNF this race, and even now, with how many drivers have not completed all the laps, they're still looking at almost a top 20 finish.
Yeah, taking a look. Looking like JTW in 22nd place on back. Only going to be drivers who do not finish this race. Justin Wilkinson, Barry Phil, Rob Haynes, Heath Smith, and Kieran Bragelli look to all be DNFs here. Chris Samard, he's in the pits right now. He has been in the pits for a considerable amount of time. Safe to say he will not be resuming on the racetrack.
Looks
Looking
like,
at Scott Patton as well. I believe he is out of this thing. Yes, Scott Patton. So only 19 drivers still on the racetrack, still in this race. Julian Ritchie, the last driver being scored on the racetrack, currently 6 laps down, about to be a 7th. So I tell you what, if Justin Michael's guaranteed championship finish is 14th, it is looking better and better every lap that goes by as we come to 26 laps to go for Justin Michael.
Well, and as we hit that 26 laps to go, we'll step aside, take our last commercial break. We'll do a little quick one here, get our couple sponsors we need to get paid, and then we'll be back here to bring you the conclusion of the season finale from the Western States Racing League. And we are back. You saw some tight battle there with the lap traffic as Justin Michael was making his way around the track. Lyle Swearingen, James Lehman, and Bentley Glazer all tried to make their way by Justin Michael. He is losing a bunch of time right now. He has Chad Stearns right on his rear bumper.
And speaking of Chad Simpson into the pits. Going to try to overtake Justin Michael through the pit cycle. How long does Justin stay out? Is this when he comes into pit? Looks like it. Here he comes.
And he is down in plenty of time. Ryan Steele staying out. Butch Davis also out. I don't know that he can make it to the end of the race, but, you know, who knows?
Who else but Ryan Steele? Got less than 20 laps to go. Here comes Butch Davis looking down to the inside. Not quite enough doing there. Here comes Brian Barnes trying to make his way around the inside of Butch Davis. Not for position, of course. Barnes has already made a pit stop. Butch Davis and Ryan Steele still out there on the same tires that they restarted on, roughly lap 50.
Yeah, they are just out here cruising around. Butch Davis going to go down to the inside. See if he's going to be able to get by. Not quite, as they're still side by side. Ryan still leads. I think Butch Davis lost a little bit of time there. Check and see where Justin Michael came out of the pits in P12. 32.5 seconds back from the leader right now.
Yeah, but he's closing in on a lot of those guys who have already made that pit stop.
Back,
Is it going to be enough time?
He's only a
Justin
second.
Michael.
I'm going to say a second behind Chad Simpson.
Ryan Steele is going to come in this time. So is the 43. Butch Davis able to get around Ryan Steele on entry to pit lane. Not sure if he got down in time, but should be all right.
Cody Matthews down as well. He's going to turn the race lead back to James Lehman.
Yeah, but he's got Lyle Swearingen just behind him. Swearingen on 4-lap older tires. He is right there within striking distance. Bentley Glazer not too far behind. Chad Stearns. All three of those drivers came in on the same lap. Chad Simpson is going to be 9 seconds behind James Lehman. I don't know if he's going to have enough time to get there. Lehman increases his gap over second place Lyle Swearingen.
Yeah, I don't know that anybody is going to catch that 50 Chevy here. Looks like Butch Davis did not speed as he is down and away back on the racetrack.
All the way up next to the wall there for James Lehman. Going to be 14 laps to go. 13 when they cross the stripe. And it's over a second between first and second. Chad Simpson, 8.5 back. I don't think he's going to have enough time.
Wayne Hutchinson getting passed there by Dennis Fuson. Ryan Steele, Butch Davis still battling even after making their pit stops. See who else is battling on track. Looks like that's really the closest battle we have. We got Chad Simpson up here with Justin Michael.
Justin Michael behind him.
Yeah, even after
Fastest
pit cycle,
lap.
they can't get away from each other.
Fastest lap of the race was just put down by Butch Davis as he gets around Ryan Steele. Well, Justin Michael trying to work his way around the 42 of Chad Simpson.
They have Bob Beltrami up there in P5 trying to hang on to that top 5 finish. You know he wants to end the season on that high note.
It's going to be tough for him to hold on. These are two very, very fast trucks. Here comes Justin Michael down to the inside. Nothing doing there as he tries to get to the inside of Chad Simpson. Bob Beltrami does what he can to both stay out of the way but defend his position. Going to be able to defend one, but not both. Justin Michael all the way to the inside, clears Bob Beltrami. That's going to put Michael into 6th, Chad Simpson into 5th. They're within 7 seconds of the race lead, but we've got 9 laps to go. I don't think they've got the time.
I don't either. I think it's pretty well wrapped up here the way that 50 machine has been running of James Lehman. But that was interesting that Simpson was able to use Beltrami as a pick almost to slow down the 87 for just enough time to get around and get a little bit of a gap. But Justin Michael trying to battle back and still behind Chad Simpson.
At this stage in the game, the championship looks to be decided for Justin Michael, but he still wants to get around Chad Simpson, wants to get around his closest rival here, and, well, he's going to send it in here in turns 1 and 2. So it might take a couple laps, but I think we've seen this before.
Yeah, almost every pass here takes a couple laps. You see these guys get drug around, and then all of a sudden they'll make that move either to the inside or to the high side, trying to get by. We'll see how long Justin Michael sits behind, and that is it. He goes down to the inside, and he is going to be side by side with Chad Simpson.
Side by side, down the back straightaway. Not quite enough to get that side draft that we know our colleague Alan loves to talk about. But it is just long enough as to where these guys can set up for the next corner, still side by side. Chad Simpson goes down to the apron, trying to shorten his lap as much as he possibly can. Justin Michael goes in deep, gets a little bit sideways. I think he's got a lot of rear brake bias in that thing. They're going to be side by side, door to door, coming up off of turn number 2. 5 laps to go for James Lehman. But these two are stealing the show, racing for the top 5.
Now these two side by side, multiple laps, each one trying to do better than the last. Justin Michael still trying to get in front of Chad Simpson. Might be able to do it, but 4 laps to go. When we get back to the stripe, it is going to be a electric show for these final 4 laps.
Simpson dives it in deep. Not quite enough to keep it on the inside of Justin Michael. Michael gets up into 5th place. James Lehman has 4 laps to go to take away victory. He's got 2.3 seconds back to Lyle Swearingen. And now Justin Michael, as he makes that pass, should be clear sailing for the championship. Lyle Swearingen sits in 2nd place. Bentley Glazer in 3rd. Chad Stearns in 4th. And then, of course, that widely talked about top 5 battle with Justin Michael and Chad Simpson. Bob Beltrami looks to be finishing out his season in 7th place. Brian Barnes with a phenomenal recovery, a phenomenal start. He's going to be up 14 positions to finish in the top 10 in 8th place. Butch Davis ran the fastest lap of the race. Going to come home 9th, and Ryan Steele should be ready for a top 10 position as there is 2 laps to go on the season. 2 laps to go for James Lehman to get his 5th win on the season. 2 laps for Justin Michael to claim the big trophy from this season.
Yeah, James Lehman just needs to hit his marks as he's been doing all night. He is growing that gap with every lap. I think he might have slowed down just a little bit there. Final lap for James Lehman as he cuts that dog leg for a final time as he goes behind Earl Weaver. All he's got to do is stay clean, and he will win the season 51 finale from Phoenix.
Through the final set of corners, James Lehman. He's done it 5 times, and Justin Michael is going to come home as your season 51 champion with a 4th place finish.
Chad Stearns and Chad Simpson round out 5th and 6th. We're
going to see some double burnouts here. See what kind of calamity ensues, but James Lehman gets the job done, solidifies himself at the end of the season as one of the dominant drivers in this league. To his outside, Justin Michael, whoever we've talked a lot about. He's won 6 times this season. This might be the biggest trophy of them all. We're going to let them burn it down. Let me let these guys collect their thoughts and join us up here in the booth. A lot of guys burning it down here at the end. You see the Weaver boys getting after it. Busan's out on the racetrack. Gonna go ahead and bring in third place Bentley Glazer. Bentley, it's Liam and Mike up in the booth. You got a copy.
Yep, I got you.
Well, Bentley, I know you started in 4th. It seemed like a pretty good start, but you know that. Well, I mean, you did have a phenomenal start. You raced up in the top 5 for the first run, you know, once we got to that green flag run, but it seemed like you kind of fell off once we took that second green flag run. Was that a change of strategy there, trying to get something more on the later end of that run, or what was going on there?
Well, I tried to save fuel both runs. In the second run, we were 10 laps short, and I didn't realize that, so I lost a lot of positions early, so I had to make that up. But I finished closer to the lead than I thought I was. So maybe if I went hard the whole time, I could have been up there a little closer.
Well, that 8 truck was definitely blazing fast throughout the course of the night. You were able to make a couple passes late and get yourself up into that top 3 as the pit cycles were going on. What goes into having such a strong strategy as a team?
I don't know. I wish I had one of those like pit calculators that the guys have that tell them how much fuel they can make. But other than that, just trying to stay clean. I'm surprised I got third. I was running probably, I think, 5th when pit stop started. So it's still a good run.
Well, yeah, it was definitely a great run for you. Is there anybody that you want to give a shout out to or thank for such a strong performance, not only in this race, but throughout the course of the season with a pair of wins?
Thank you guys as always for broadcasting, and thanks Bob Beltrami for putting on WSRL, and thanks to all the competitors who come out because this is a good league, and I hope we still have large fields next season.
Well, awesome stuff, Bentley. Congratulations on the podium. We'll be talking to you again next season, I'm sure.
Yep, see you then.
All right, and then next we've got second place Lyle Swearingen. Mike, I believe you've got him.
Hey, Lyle, Mike up in the booth, man. How's it going?
Doing good. How about yourself?
Well, not bad. Well, that was a heck of a run. Looked like you were one of the first drivers to blink and come down pit lane. Looked like that strategy kind of played out fairly well at the end of the race. You were able to get up to P2. Was that kind of always your thought to pit a little bit earlier than everybody else?
Not the time. On that first run, we all just kind of seen we couldn't really go anywhere. Some of the guys behind, like Michael's, they would be able to come up, but like most of us were kind of just nose to tail in line. And then on the second run, a little more of the same, but I kind of burned my stuff up a little early, and I figured it's probably a good idea to short pit it a little bit, seeing how the first run turned out. And I dipped down. I think Bentley followed me, and for the most part, he got up to me just under a second, but couldn't really get any more past that. So I think short pitting really benefited there for the P2 tonight.
It definitely looked like it. You had a heck of a season. Who do you have to thank for the tremendous season you guys had and the P2 finish you had tonight?
No, just everyone at FBR that I raced with, Chad, Butch, Chris, Stan, Jesse T. Wilkinson, just all those guys, just everyone at WSRL we race with every Tuesday and Friday. Yeah, definitely strong start to the season, but kind of, at least for me, if it kind of fell apart a little in the end. Just lost a lot of points towards the end. I'm probably gonna. I think I'm like fifth or sixth in the points finishing. We'll see, but we'll try it Friday. We're P2 there, but Justin Michael's got a big lead on us there, so we'll see what we can do with that. But yeah, good championship to him. Pretty much had us all in the log runs for most of the season. Able to get to him a couple times there this season, and we'll just have to figure it out.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats on a P2 finish, and we look forward to talking to you next season.
We'll do. See you later.
Yep, later.
All right, now we'll go ahead and bring in our race winner, James Lehman. James, you really made it look easy out there. You started from the pole. You didn't look back, and I'm pretty sure the only laps you didn't lead were through that green flag pit cycle. Talk with us about your day.
Yeah, man. It's just it went pretty good, to be honest. I wish I was a little bit closer in the championship hunt there, and it probably would have meant a little bit more to win this race, but yeah, it just being consistent, I love this. I love Phoenix, in my opinion. I think it's one of the most challenging tracks on iRacing, and it's definitely fun for me.
Yeah, it is definitely a challenging racetrack, and we saw a lot of challenges for people here, whether it be passing or restarts or getting onto pit lane. What do you think was the most challenging thing throughout the course of tonight?
Honestly, I think it's for everybody. I think it was trying to keep the right front cooled down, not overheating it, because as soon as they started overheating heating it, it'd be so tight, and then they turn too much and they get loose, So I think it was more of just trying to keep your tire temperatures down and just being consistent, at the same time. And then especially pit road, I still can't figure out pit road here, and I love this track, but I still can't figure out how to get in there and not lose a second and a half. So it's that's my challenge personally, is getting down pit road.
Well, I tell you what, man, if you lost a second and a half, we didn't notice. You had the field on lock tonight, and for the 5th time this year, you're a race winner. What does this mean moving into the next season? Can we expect to see you around full time, potentially racing for this championship?
No, this was gonna be my last full season with WSRL for probably a good couple years. I moved duty stations. I'm now on the East Coast in New York, and so this was my last shot, because staying up until midnight is kind of hard on Americans' time, and then waking up 5:30 the next day. So this will be it for me for a while. I'll probably run like a race every now and then, but running it full time, this was it. Sadly.
Well, James, we are thankful that you were able to finish at least this part of your full-time Western States Racing League career on a high with a race win. Who do you want to thank for helping you get it done 5 times this year? So much success. Who helps you
Uh,
get it done over there?
just thanks to all the guys at Max V. They make me run hard, and I learned a lot from them, and I've also learned a lot from here too. So, and thanks to Bob for putting it on, for running 51 seasons straight. Not a lot of leagues can testify that they're still running to this day from the initial start. And thanks to you guys for broadcasting. Look forward to watching it tomorrow. And yeah, I think that's about it.
Well, awesome stuff, James. Awesome win. I'm sure we'll be talking to you again. Might be some time, but looking forward to it.
Alrighty, bud. Y'all take care.
All right, and then last but not least, we've got ourselves a special 4th interview for the night. We've got our champion, Justin Michael, joining us up in the booth. Justin, it's Liam and Mike. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. How about you guys?
Fantastic. You get the job done here. It was kind of looking, I don't want to say easy with the points gap you had coming up in here, but you knew the best way to do it was going to be to beat that 42, and you got the job done here tonight. What was it like racing against him? Did you feel any extra aggression racing against that 42?
No, I mean, not really. Actually, it was quite the opposite. I knew where I kind of had to finish versus if he won the race. So I just wanted to stay around him. I know I was able to get by him there a couple times, but we just kind of I just wanted to stay kind of around him. If he pitted, then I would pit. I didn't want to pit first and then let him pit later, run the risk of a yellow. So as long as I knew I stayed with him the entire race, I knew we were going to be pretty good.
Justin, you threw together a phenomenal race, and with the end result of it, you are champion. How does that feel? Is it setting in? What does it mean to you?
It definitely feels great. You want to run the whole season and finish well and definitely finish it first. But we missed too many races last season to get the championship, so that we were kind of bummed about that, especially with being the 50th, and we wanted to win. So wanted to come back this time and definitely try to do it again and actually make all the races. I think I missed one by mistake. So, but it definitely feels good, and just hats off to everybody out there. Chad ran a great season, Ryan ran a great season, James ran a great season. So, they definitely keep you on your toes, and you got to run good week in and week out. There was a point there where I didn't know if I would win or not, because we had a couple really bad finishes, and with the drop weeks not showing, I figured I was out of it. So, but yeah, so we'll hopefully do it again next season.
Awesome stuff, Justin. Congrats on the championship. I'm going to hand it over to Mike.
Yeah, I mean, you had dominated the beginning part of the season, kind of wavered a little bit midway through. Like you said, a couple drop weeks weren't showing until you got towards the end here, but coming in, you just had to do basically 14th position, I think is what I calculated with your drop week that you were going to drop compared to Chad Simpson's. But I mean, dynamite performance as always. Are you thinking you're going to try and come back and defend this title next season?
Yeah, I don't see any reason why not. It is a little late because we're on the East Coast here, but that's okay. It's only one night a week, and we run Fridays too. But who cares? It's Saturday. Saturday's the next day I don't work. But yeah, we should be back next season. I don't know when it starts. I got to find that out. I think I'm going to take a couple weeks off after we run a Friday series too here. So after that, I think I'm going to take a couple weeks off.
Yeah, you'll have a couple weeks off. They'll at least do a couple weeks of non-points races and stuff. So I don't believe we'll kick off till after the new year on season 52, but look forward to having you back. One thing I got to ask you, is Andrew going to be able to come back yet, or is he still on daddy duty?
Well, I was just messaging him today because we run the 24 of Daytona, and that's going to be about 5 weeks. And I was asking him, "Hey, are you going to be free?" And he thinks he will be. So I know he will be hopefully for that, but I don't know. I'll have to ask him and see what he says, and maybe me and him can get a good battle going there in the points towards the end of the season.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats once again. Anybody else you want to thank before we get you out of here?
I just saw the Bandit guys over there. James really kept me on my toes on the races he did make, and Scott's joined the league too, so he's definitely going to be one to watch. And just everybody out there. It's a great league and very competitive. You guys call great races always too, and we'll probably go back and watch it. And it sounds like you're going to be here for next season too, so that's great. Bob puts on a great league, and hats off to him. And I don't know. There's probably other people out there I should thank, but I don't remember at the moment. Oh, everybody watching on the stream. I don't think I had any viewers tonight on my stream at Floorboard Deep. I don't know. Maybe somebody out there was stream sniping me like at Daytona a couple weeks ago. So, but now, so you guys, we'll see you guys hopefully in a month or so. And
yep,
I'm not gonna run the non-points races. I'm taking a break from this sim.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats once again, and we look forward to seeing you guys next season.
Thanks, guys.
And just before we let you go, Justin, we're going to give you a little bit of hype, man. You won 6 times this season. And, you had some pretty special ones involved with that one, too. I mean, Daytona last week was another pretty significant one. We can't congratulate you enough on being champion for this season, and it's been an incredible thing to watch. So looking forward to seeing you next year. Kind of thinking I might want to be on the racetrack, but if you're going to put on whoopings like this, I might might have a better seat up in the booth.
I appreciate it, guys. It's definitely not easy with these group of guys. You know, they'll run you clean, but they'll run you hard, which is what I like. So, but yeah, 6 wins is really great against the competitions that's out there, and hopefully we can repeat and maybe even do a little better next season.
Well, awesome stuff, man. Go ahead and celebrate. Thanks for joining us and spending this extra time with us. You're a champion, man. That's pretty cool.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you in a month.
Well, Mike, dude, I'm kind of in shock that the season's over. I mean, I know I kind of joined a little bit later on, but this racing has been incredible. Week in and week out, we've had 35 to 40 truck lobbies. We've had incredible racing. I mean, what do we have? 40 trucks show up last week in Daytona and not a single caution flag. This is one of the greatest leagues I think an iRacing driver could look for, and glad to have been a part of it through at least half of the season, and especially glad to be a part of it at the end. Bob Beltrami puts on a great show, and you know, it definitely says a lot to have a league run for 51 seasons and have the car counts that they have each and every time that they show up.
Yeah, definitely. It's been an amazing season. There's been some races that, you run 20 races with guys, you're going to get a little heated moments here and there, but they battle through it and through the war of attrition as far as that goes, and they come out on the other side and they put on races like they did here tonight at Phoenix. I mean, it's one of the reasons why I love calling this. You never know what you're going to get. All you do know for sure is that you're going to get a lot of side-by-side, really respectful racing here, and I can't wait to see what tracks are on the schedule for next season.
Yeah, it is going to be great. If you guys have enjoyed what you've seen so far this season, by all means, hit the subscribe, hit the bell, make sure that you never miss a race with us. But there's also the option to come and hang out with us up in the booth. If you're interested in getting into iRacing commentary or broadcasting, we would love to have you along here at Sim Racing Media. We love what we do. I have a blast up here, and sometimes the racing just speaks for itself. So you kind of want to tickle your fancy on that, we'd be glad to have you, glad to train you, and
yeah, definitely
it's a lot of fun up here.
Definitely try and do some trips to tracks and such as always as well. But let's go through the race results real quick, and then we'll close it out and let everybody get back to their regularly scheduled evening here. You saw the whooping that James Lehman put on the field here tonight. Lyle Swearingen and Bentley Glazer tried a little different strategy to get up onto the podium. Justin Michael knew what he had to do to bring home the Season 51 championship. Chad Stearns and Chad Simpson round out that top 6. Bob Beltrami finishes the season on a high note in P7. Brian Barnes, biggest mover of the race, up into P8. Butch Davis and Ryan Steele, 9th and 10th. Dennis Fuson, Wayne Hutchinson, Earl Weaver, Cody Matthews, and David Weaver round out that top 15.
Yeah, then we've got Keith Hovda, Keith Kelman, Todd Miles, and then Julian Ritchie starts the drivers who did not finish this race. 20th place, Scott Patton, then Chris Samard, Justin T. Wilkinson, Barry Phil, Rob Haynes, Heath Smith, and Kieran Brigelli. William Fletcher and Kerry Cleaver took laps in the season finale's practice, but did not make the show. We'll give them a shout out here at the end of the season for trying, though.
Definitely.
Well, I think that should do it for us here on Sim Racing Media for the Western States Racing League season number 51. We've wrapped it up. Justin Michael is our champion. 6 wins on the season. James Lehman gets his 5th. It's been a phenomenal ride. We can't wait to see what next season brings us in here in about a month. Well, I guess that's about it. For Mike to Money, I'm Liam Irvig. Thanks for tuning in, and as you guys walk through the streets of life, please don't play in traffic. Have a good night, folks.